The big question, flavourings, do they work and which one is best? Now you go in any tackle shop, there's rows and rows of different flavourings, sweet ones, fishy ones, savoury ones. I'm here on the bank to find out which one is best. You join me on a really wet and miserable day, but we're at Barston Lakes, so we should be in for a good day. Now, a few people have obviously messaged me after the first video that we did about flavourings. They'd love to see flavourings being used on a bit more of a bigger, expansive bit of water. Barston is that place. It's a perfect place to try this test out. So, first video was all about flavourings versus standard baits. You know, we used some standard pellets, we flavoured one batch of pellets and the flavoured batch came out on top. Today is all about pitting flavours against each other. I've got with me my micro pellets that I've prepared. I've not added quite as much water to them as I normally would. That's because the flavourings are going to take them to that level that I need, that consistency that I need. So I've done a batch of micros, I've split that in half, and then in one batch I've added the Swim Stim Cool Water liquid, the liquid that we used last time on that first video, and in the other batch I've added some Robin Red liquid. Now, Robin Red liquid is something that I've not used before, but I know that a lot of carp anglers use it. I know that a lot of carp anglers visit this venue in particular, so I think it'd be interesting to see whether the more carpier style flavouring does well against the sweeter flavouring. The other interesting thing about those flavourings is that one's a sweet flavouring and one's a more savoury sort of meaty flavour. So we've got two polar opposites there, and also because Barston's got a lot of F1s, skimmers, bream, you know, and also loads of carp as well, it'd be good to see whether one flavouring is good for attracting certain species of fish. So if I start catching, you know, we all expect that the sweet flavouring is going to be good for catching skimmers and bream and maybe some smaller species, but who knows? This place gets carp fished really heavily. Those silverfish might be turned on to sort of like more carp style flavourings. As always, I'm trying to keep the test as fair as possible. So I've got 2 points that I've eyed up on the far bank for chucking to. We're going to cast 55 metres today. I've used the measuring sticks, 55 metres on both rods. Both sets of kit are identical. Then in this left hand tub that I'm going to use for the left hand swim are the Swim Stim Cool Water pellets. Good reason I've done it that way. Find out in a second when I've just moulded this feeder. So to start with, the left hand swim has got the Swim Stim Cool Water pellets. Now the right hand swim, and this is the reason that the right hand swim has got the Robin Red. It's purely so I can remember it because they both begin with R. That is how simple my brain works. So obviously not the cleverest bloke in the world, but the right hand swim is going to get the Robin Red pellets. Obviously both the same distance, both the same setup. I'll talk to you about the setup once we've cast out. As you can see, it's a really miserable day today. I'm going to cast the Robin Red one out first. I'm going to try and cast the feeders out exactly this, well, as close to the same time as each other as possible. So no feeder's been in the water for longer than the other. Nice cast that was. Beautiful cast. And then chuck this one out. 55 metres. Beautiful. I'm getting good at this casting game, let me tell you. Sinking the line. Just taking my time to sink the line. It's quite a calm day today, there's not a lot of ripple, so sinking your line is important. And then, as always, we'll get the stopwatch on. While I'm sinking the line, let me talk to you about the little EVAs that I've got on my side tray. Obviously it's drizzling all day today, so I've got these little EVA tubs with a lid on, which means I put my pellets in there, flip the lid over, and obviously it keeps your pellets in a pretty good condition for the day. I don't want to be fishing away and all of a sudden my pellets have turned into a mush because the rain's got to them. So sink the line and we'll wait for a bite. I'm imagining we're not going to get fast bites today. I know that we've been sort of like, when we've been fishing here, leaving it in for sort of like 10 minutes a time. But we're catching nice fish, so don't mind waiting if we're catching some nice fish. Right, while those two are out, let me talk to you about the gear I'm using. Both sets of kit are absolutely identical. Obviously we're trying to make this as fair a test as possible. 11-foot rods, I'm using Free Spirit CTX rods, 11 footers. Nice big reel, we've got diver casters on, it's loaded with £5 line. Now the £5 line is really important. You've just seen then I've cast 55 metres, I've used a 30 gram method feeder, which is still quite a light feeder. You can't cast those sort of distances effortlessly with a thick main line. So a £5 line is really important. I use M-Tech line from FEEDER. It's really, really smooth, it sinks perfectly, and because it's thin and smooth, it peels off the reel, you know, beautifully, which means I can cast a long way. Obviously you can't cast though with that main line on its own, so you need a shock leader. Now for carp fishing, I use 12-pound M-Tech line, same brand of line, and what I do is I do 6 big arm spans of shock leader. So I'm guessing that's sort of like 30 to 33 foot, something like that, if I'm 6 foot tall. 6 big arm spans of shock leader, tie that on, and then obviously attach your method feeder to the end of that. That means you're casting on the heavier line. The longer shock leader means that when you're playing a fish under your feet, you're not putting loads of pressure on the knot, because in theory the knot should be on your reel by that time. Now, the feeder itself, you've probably seen the previous video that we've done about this flavourings game. The feeder itself is a bit of a mixture of feeders. It's a Preston method feeder, there's a Guru short stem in there, and because I like to use a short stem, and I still want plenty of elastic to come out, I've changed the elastic. That's a pink shock core elastic. It's just a bit softer than other elastics. It's still really robust, so it doesn't break, but it's just a bit softer, so plenty comes out. You want to get the feeder as far away from the fish as possible when you're playing them. The hook length is 0.14, and I've tied knotless knot style a size 16 hook on. Now I'm using a knotless knot because I want to put a band on the hair. The reason I'm not using spikes or quick stops or anything like that is because I just want to put a 6mm hard pellet in the band. Something that I want to see is, am I going to catch some little skimmers? Am I going to catch some F1s? And I just feel that maybe with a big boilie or a bigger bait, something that's more selective, we might miss out on those fish. So with a smaller bait like a 6mm, we can actually see what's coming to the feeder. I mean, a little skimmer will pick that up, so we'll see if those little skimmers are coming to the flavourings as well.
I learned my lesson, and I'm not gonna let you out of my sight. You can call me killer, 'cause I'll bring you to the light. And it might taste bitter when you're answering to God. You can call me killer as you look into my eyes. Nothing but a sinner. You won't get away this time. You won't get away this time. You won't get away.
Left hand rod absolutely zoomed off. Feels like a nice fish too. Hopefully it's going to be a decent day. Really take my time with my fish. Obviously we're not on a big hook, I think this is a carp. Some of the bites you get from them F1s are unreal. I mean, they must take a run up to grab your hook bait some of the time, so it can be a little bit deceiving when you first get a bite, but I think the way this is nodding, it's a carp. Well, there we go then, folks. 1-0 to the swim stim. Beautiful fish as well. Nice common. Probably about 8 or 9 pounds. Cracking way to start the day. Won't hold him up, but beautiful fish. 8 or 9 pounds worth of fish there. Brilliant start to the day. Right, so we'll reel both rods in. Obviously fair test. We want to make sure we do everything at the same time. That bite came at 7 minutes. And obviously it's really good to use that stopwatch because we can build a picture of what's going on during the day. And if every bite comes at 7 minutes, we know not to leave it out for much longer than that. So that's the Robin Red loaded up. .6mm pellet in the band. Miserable day. Obviously rained all day. I've sat myself under a tree as well, so even when it's not raining I'm getting dripped on. We cast out the Robin Red first last chuck, so we'll chuck out the F1, the swim stim first, the swim stim F1. Back out to that clip. Hit the clip nice. Rod number 2 out, up against the markers, going to fish in the same place all day today. I'm not interested in following fish around the peg. We're going to make sure the fish come to us today rather than following them around. You know, it's all about seeing if they come to the flavouring rather than us chasing fish around the peg. Great start that is though. Nice to get a fish first cast. As always, stop the stopwatch, start the stopwatch. Really taking my time to sink the line. Don't want any toe on the surface to move that feeder, so we'll get all the line well down. Gently take up the slack. Be really interesting today because we've got a lot of skimmers in this lake. We've got a lot of F1s. We'll see if those species like the bit of flavouring as well. Obviously with the amount of carp anglers visiting this place and putting bait in, loaded with flavours, I imagine that the silverfish have got a liking for it too. Obviously they never get caught because carp anglers are using massive baits. So it's become a pretty safe way of feeding for the silverfish. Obviously when we're using a 6mm pellet, anything can pick that up. You know, I want to see what comes to the method feeder. I'm not necessarily interested in catching big fish all day today. It'd be nice, but I want to actually see what comes to the method feeder. And a slightly smaller hook bait will tell us that. Obviously we've got planes, we've got trains, we've got everything here at Barston. An airport behind us and a train track in front of us, so obviously there's plenty of noise going on. It's just on the surface a little bit, that. Let's just try and get it down a little bit. Obviously if there's a ripple on the water, it's really easy to sink your line. When there's no ripple, it's a little bit harder. So first bite came 7 minutes. Let's see if we can obviously stop watch the next bite and obviously try and start reading what's going to happen during the day.
You and me hanging from the willow tree, quietly drifting in the open breeze. Suddenly the wind blows you away.
There we go, folks, on the phone. Tip's gone round. Left hand rod again, so another fish for the swim stim. Feels a nice fish too. 9 minutes this time. He's going. We might have to unclip for this guy. Car, he's on a proper run. Obviously if you have to unclip, it's always best to just take your bail arm off, let a load of slack come off, and then just quickly whip the clip off. He's definitely on a bit of a run, this guy. So obviously that's a great use for the measuring sticks as well. If a fish does obviously tear off and you have to unclip, it's just really easy just to go up the bank again and just quickly whip around your measuring sticks, get back to the correct distance and chuck out again on the same spot. No need to mark my line and mess around with that. Half the time those marker pens, it all rubs off your line anyway. Feels like a really nice fish, this does. Kiting a long way to the left. I'll tell you what we'll do, just move this rod, put that to the side. Martin's have a sit on the box, conventional style for this fella, because he seems a really nice fish. I'm sort of expecting today to catch some big fish on the Robin Red, because I've just got it in my head that that's more of a specimen style flavouring. But obviously so far we've done all right on this, on the old swim stim. I think a lot of the time it depends what goes into a lake. Obviously the fish become accustomed to certain baits. I think a lot of the time if the fish are used to smelling out sweet baits, that's what they'll go for. This feels like a really nice fish. And although we're using a little bait, you know, a little hard 6mm pellet, again, that shows that you can catch some big fish. Rod nice and low. Great to catch some fish today. I mean, it's not stopped raining, but still nice to be out catching a few fish. Just feel the shot leader knot there going through the ring, so we know we're close. there is some stunning fish in here. I've seen fish caught in matches nearly £30. I mean, that's a rarity, but there is absolutely stunning fish in this lake. Not on heavy gear though today. Again, we're fishing for everything, so not on heavy gear. You can just tell when the fish is a big fish when it nods really slowly. When there's it's a heavy fish. Didn't even tear off on the bite either, just nodded. Well folks, that is a beauty. Absolutely stunning fish. Shows what a single 6mm pellet can do, doesn't it? Absolutely stunning fish. Look at that. What a cracking fish. Big double figures. Easily over £15, maybe. I don't know. Hard to say, but £17, something like that. Great fish to catch on match gear. Second chuck. I told my missus this morning when it was raining that I might have a chance of catching some nice fish today, and she asked if I was going fishing. And I tell you what, I wasn't wrong. Cracking fish. Let's put him back. Right, we're going to reel that other rod in, and then we'll cast both rods out at the same time. And if this carries on, you know, there might be a few extra fish to the left, so if that carries on, what we'll do is we'll swap the rods over, as we've done in the past, and we'll chuck the robin red on the left hand rod and the swim stream on the right. But I think we'll give it one more cast and see how things go.
I just want you. I just want you. The words I never said but wanted to. I'm losing you. I'm losing you. Oh, but these thoughts won't let you go. They keep running back to you. I just want you. I just want you. Just want you.
Right, so I'm in the van. I've had to retire. The drizzle's turned into rain, but we've been joined by Nige, top man at Barston, owner at Barston. Let me just talk to you how the day's gone. Two flavourings, Nige. I've chosen a savoury flavouring. I've chosen a sweet flavouring. 2 rods.
What's the feeder? Ground bait?
Just a method feeder. Okay. I've had a load of skimmers. Well, like I say, a load of skimmers. Lots of bites from the little fish on the sort of like carpy style flavour. And
a short line.
No, all sticked up at exactly the same distance, 55 metres.
You've got 2 rods and 2 method feeders at the same distance?
2 rods, 2 method feeders, a perfect experiment.
Different
Experiment.
Okay.
2 rods sticked up exactly the same, and I've had skimmers on the carpy style flavouring.
Right.
Only 1 carp, but a beautiful fish. Steve Ringer helped me land it. Beautiful koi, the orange koi.
Oh, really?
Beautiful fish. Skimmers on that. And then on sort of the matchy style sweet flavouring, I've had one that was like not quite £20, 17, £18.
You've caught carp on the sweet.
Caught carp on that.
Caught skimmers on the carp mix.
And I think in a minute, what I'm going to do.
Change the name on the.
That's what I'm going to have to do, change the bottle. But what I'm going to do is in a minute, I'll probably have another quick chuck, but when I go back, I'll swap the rods over then. So I'll chuck just to see if, because there's some fish boshing out to the left. I wonder if I am on a pod of fish, and that's why I'm catching the carp to the left hand side.
So you're chucking both rods at the same place, though?
I'm chucking the same place. I'm chucking at the same time, everything. So exactly right. Because I don't think here, 101, it's not a known area, is it?
It was awful at the weekend because it's right where the inlet pipe is, and you've got a lot of rainwater coming down this ditch.
But I'll tell you what, that water's really coloured, and I wonder if the fish are in that colour. Because I've seen a couple of skimmers roll out in that colour.
When you have heavy rain like this, the fish stop to feed because it's mild as well. It's mild as well, so they do feed well.
Well, I think once it stops raining, I'm going to go out and have another chuck.
So now we're fishing on this cast with the Robin Red on the left hand side, the swim stim on the right hand side. Simple case is obviously just swapping the tubs over on my side tray. We're doing exactly the same though, same distance, same hook baits, but it'll just be interesting because we've had those 2 really nice carp on the left hand rod, just to see if there is a pod of fish to the left, and that's why we've caught those fish there.
Empty hearts and neon lights, they're playing with my mind. Gotta get out of here tonight. Oh, I wanna run off and fly, and I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home.
So I've been wanting to end on a carp, and I think we've hooked one. And surprise, surprise, we've hooked it over the swim stim. Really changed my opinions of flavourings today. Obviously this swim stim pellet soak, which I thought would probably be, it's gone over that side. I thought the swim stim pellet soak would be a bit of everything, you know, you catch your skimmers on it, your F1s, but it's actually been the opposite way round. Don't get me wrong, we've had the odd skimmer on it, but I don't know if that's, is it under or over that rod? I think it's just gone around that rod. But it's been interesting that when we've swapped the rods over, we've still had bites on the Robin Red, but obviously no carp. Again, it's not conclusive proof, but the odds are stacking up. I think what we need to do is another time get out with the flavours, try a few other things, maybe go to a different venue, because at the minute my thinking is on this particular venue, that Robin Red flavouring has worked really well. Let's hold this fella up for you. That Robin Red flavouring has worked really well for just getting bites off everything. It's worked particularly well for skimmers. Beautiful little fish. It's worked particularly well for skimmers, that Robin Red has, but the swim stim has been the one for catching carp today, by the looks of it. Even when we've swapped the rods over. So, we've had a really interesting day. We've had a guest appearance from a couple of superstars. We've caught plenty of fish, including some huge fish, some colourful fish as well. And although I'm soaked to the bone, I've really enjoyed today. It's nice to get out, catch some fish, see the tiptoe round. Until next time, guys, tight lines.